That's good.
Got some new faces. That's good. New faces.
There's a lot of new faces. A lot of people here tonight.
Yeah, a little better than last time. Maybe you can pull it. We're going to start with prayer, and then we're going to get into it. Dear Lord, thank you for everyone showing up today. I was a little worried. Beautiful day today. Just very grateful to be here in the presence of all these people. And Lord, just be here as we go through this presentation, and we can learn things together. We can grow together, and hopefully to glorify you. In Jesus' name, amen. For the people that were here before, or last time, can't answer this, so I want to preface the whole topic, or the talks that I'm giving, with a little lesson of the story of Cain and Abel. So, if you were here last time, don't answer, but does anybody know why Cain's offering wasn't accepted by God?
It wasn't the first fruits.
Okay, yeah.
It wasn't the best that he found.
Spot on. Wasn't the best. So Cain thought he could get away with not doing his best, that he could cheat the system to achieve success. Didn't work out for him very well, did it? Okay, so that's kind of like the undertone of why I wanted to give a lot of these talks and provide information, is to kind of say, are we giving our best to God in every aspect of our lives? I know we show up to church and we do spiritual things and we pray and we do that type of stuff, but are we doing everything else at our best, especially when it comes to our health and our bodies? So just kind of keeping that in mind as we go through this process and learn and that type of stuff. Okay, so nutrition, actually probably one of my least favorite topics, just because it's so nuanced. Like, it just gets so complicated and convoluted. Everybody has their opinions on what's the best, and it's hard to really sift through the junk and the bad information versus the good information and what's the truth and all this stuff. So hopefully we can go through here and kind of make common sense out of it. It is easy. It's easy to understand. It's the reason why it's so complicated is because there's literally so much information. Sometimes more information isn't the best answer. So hopefully answering the question of what do we eat? That's what we all want to know. What do I eat that can benefit my body, help me lose weight, help make me feel good, all of the things, prevent diseases, whatever. So we're going to go into that. We're going to learn about why food is good. That's what we're going to start with. We're going to learn that process of the benefits of food, and then we're going to get into like more tangible, practical takeaways, like food lists and how do I build a plate when I'm at home, or what should a plate of dinner look like for me, different things like that. So we're going to keep it simple. There's so many different categories. I'm sure you guys are all familiar with this when you went to high school. The food pyramid. It hasn't changed much since you guys were in high school. Hopefully, I think they actually are changing that. With RFK Jr. in, he's been doing a bunch of crazy stuff. So he is actually changing the food pyramid. So we kind of want to throw that out. It was a okay idea, I guess, to categorize things. It was somewhat helpful, but what they put at the bottom, the foundation of our nutrition, was incorrect. Foundation is not grains and pastas and carbs. The last session we talked about carbs and how they're very important. But to eat, I think the serving is 14 servings or slices of bread or something a day. Like you're eating a loaf of bread a day or something like that. It's a little too much. So to keep it simple, we have two categories, which is plants and animals. Very simple. Okay, that's how we think of things. What am I going to eat? I'm going to eat a plant or I'm going to eat an animal. So when we get into, we grab something off the shelf and we're like, okay, is this a plant or is this an animal? You know, that kind of, that's, the question there is like, I don't know. Like, if you have to think about it, there's probably a lot more ingredients in there than what you want. Okay, so different types of processed foods. So everything is kind of processed in today's world. Like even, like if you go to the grocery store and you get an apple, somebody had to pick the apple, they had to ship the apple to get to the store. So by the time you get the apple, it's kind of, we call it processed. So very minimally processed, which is basically you're farming it, you're cleaning it, you're packaging it, and you're giving it to the customer. Minimally processed whole foods. So now we got like your canned goods, fermented stuff, things that kind of sit on our shelf a little bit or stored better. Vacuum packed items, frozen stuff, holds better. It's still a whole food, but you know that processing is there. Now we have the ultra processed foods. So this is like the junk foods. These items aren't really food. It's fake food. It has whole foods origination somewhat, but it's really just a mess of ingredients that usually taste really good. So we want to be aware of those things. All your quick, easy grab foods that right off the shelf, right out of the package, you can put it in your mouth and you're good to go. So what is a whole food? There's your definition. It's basically what can you pull out of the ground and eat. That's a whole food. Anything you can grow in your garden. Anything that you can grow in the earth is a whole food, and it's going to be good for you. So this is the ideal eating habit or diet. So when people are like, what diet should I follow? A whole foods diet. So that kind of eliminates all of the gunk of like, we'll get into that later, but single ingredient. What am I eating? It's an apple. It's rice. It's a sweet potato. It's one thing, not this, and this, and this, and 7 other preservatives. So it's just one simple ingredient. So there's a bunch of examples. Pretty beautiful, right? Very colorful, vibrant. You even got some liver up there in your left side. Anybody eat liver?
I used to, I don't know anymore.
Yeah, it's-
That's what everyone says.
Yeah. That just tastes like ketchup. Yeah, liver's tough, but it is good for you. So lots of good stuff. I mean, that just looks great. It's beautiful, super colorful, everything on there. That's all whole foods. That's all good stuff. You can eat as much of that stuff as you want. So we're gonna play a little game. And also, before I forget, while we're going through this, think of some questions that you have that are like specific to you about your nutrition or nutrition questions in general. Because I want to leave a lot of time at the end for questions. Because like I said, this is a vast topic, and I don't want to like, when I was making this, I'm like adding things in. I'm like, well, is this too much? I don't know. And then I'm like taking things out. So just trying to answer specific questions that you may have at the end. All right, red light, green light, yellow light. You guys remember this? Elementary school, you know? Green means go, red means stop, yellow, slow. So we're gonna apply that same game to food. So as we go through, food's gonna pop up, and then I want everybody to say a color. So red, green, or yellow. Green meaning good, red meaning bad, yellow meaning cautious. Okay. All right, let's see how we did. And we can talk about it as we go. Red. Very good. Okay, that was an easy one. Softball applause for you. Green. Good.
Green.
Good. That's sometimes one that people like cautious of with the cholesterol thing. You know, people are always worried about that. Definitely don't have to be worried about that. Just to let you know.
Green.
Red, because I don't like it.
It's supposed to be green, it's supposed to be good for you.
Great. Yeah, I would say without getting into the weeds, it's green.
Yep.
But
It's not going on my plate.
have you ever had it?
Yes.
Nope.
It takes on the flavor of other foods, really.
Red.
We're trying to leave preferences out. Okay?
But that was God.
Yeah. What was that voice? So the thing about tofu, it's pretty much like soybeans. And the thing about soybeans is that they're like, if you get them traditionally made, like non-organic, then they are not good. So we want them to be organic. So if you're eating tofu or any type of soybean-based product, it needs to be organic. If it's not, then it's a GMO, and you really don't want to eat that because soybean and corn are like two of the most genetically modified foods. That the reason why they're genetically modified is so that they can resist glyphosate, which is a pesticide that they spray on the crops. So they plant the seed that they can spray as much on it as they want, and it won't kill the crops, it just kills everything else. So we don't want to consume that product unless it's organic. I mean, you can if you want to, that's all you. I don't do that, so that's the in the weeds comment about tofu. And if anybody has questions as we're going on, feel free to raise your hand or just shout it out.
Red.
Red, good. Yeah, we want to probably avoid those. You know, that's like child snacks. You know, we're all adults here. We don't need fruit snacks. They taste good. I get it. They taste good.
I would say yellow.
I would go with yellow. What if you bought potatoes and cut them up at your house into a French fry, put them in the oven and made them that way? Would that be green or yellow?
Green.
Great. Green.
Why do potatoes get a bad name? I had so many people say, I don't eat potatoes, I don't eat potatoes.
They're on the high end of the high glycemic index. Yeah, so high carbs. The white potatoes are pretty quick to digest. So that's why they're on the high glycemic scale. So that's the worry, but.
Potato a year, and then I eat potatoes. The first one was last day, the steakhouse was my anniversary, and I
Really?
so I don't eat potatoes. I make radishes out of potatoes. I cook radishes, when I make a stew, I cut up my radishes and put those, they taste like potatoes.
They do, yeah.
Just started doing that with
Yep.
stews, put them in stew.
Yep, I don't eat potatoes, not at all. I cooked one big potato last night and I ate half of it because it was salt on the outside, big potato, I was done with it. I ate my steak and that was it.
Huh.
Yep.
I love potatoes. I eat them all the time.
I do, they're not good for you, nutrition, they're not good for you, too much starch.
Potatoes?
Yeah, there's too much starch.
They're good. They're
They're
fine.
not
Better
good for
than
you.
a Snickers.
Yeah.
Better than
Yeah.
gummies, that's.
You don't gotta worry about a white potato. There's no worry there. If you get a deep fried French fry from McDonald's,
Red.
that's probably red. But a potato from the ground, you don't gotta worry about
What
that.
about sweet potato?
Sweet potatoes are great.
Okay.
They're better. Sweet potatoes are better. They're lower on the glycemic scale, and they have a lot of DHEA in them, which is like a hormone precursor thing. It's really good for you. A lot of bodybuilders eat a lot of sweet potatoes. Red, what do we think? Yeah, I would say. Because it depends what kind of bread. So that's kind of like this conversation is quality versus quantity here. So the quality of the bread matters. Does everybody ever hear of Dave's Killer Bread? How do you say that?
Is that green?
Dave's Killer Bread, is that good?
Yeah. That's the bread I eat, usually.
Where do you get that?
What is it?
I think they sell it at Walmart. Yeah.
Dave's Killer Bread.
Killer bread.
It's in
Yeah. Bread, we also want it to be organic.
diabetes, so I can't.
Ideally, organic bread, just because of the glyphosate and the pesticides, the sprays, that type of stuff. And ideally, something that has a little bit of hardiness to it, like the Dave's Killer, what is it?
Dave's Killer Bread.
Dave's Killer Bread, okay. Dave's Killer Bread, putting an S in the wrong spot. It usually has a lot of nuts and seeds and like stuff all mixed into the loaf on the outside. There's like stuff on it, so it would have more sustenance to it. Like it's gonna have more fiber. It's gonna have a little bit more fat. It's gonna have a little bit more protein in it than your standard Wonder Bread. Like Wonder Bread is pretty much like sugar.
Wondering what it is.
Yeah, it's just like we're eating it. It's like you're just eating sugar. So that bread, we want to avoid that bread or be very cautious of the Wonder Bread, but some high quality bread that's got some hardiness to it. Because I mean, think about it, that's kind of where we came from. We ate bread. Jesus ate bread all the time, right?
They made
Like,
it, so
yeah.
it's better for you anyway.
And like the grains that they were using were way better. They were real good stuff.
It's like the flour we have.
Yeah, like today it's different. It's way different. You can even, like if you get people that go to Italy, and they eat the grains and like the pastas over there compared to over here, it's totally different, just based off of like what they're doing compared to what we're doing. So there's bread. How about oatmeal?
Green.
Oatmeal's good. Nothing wrong with some oatmeal. Now, again, anytime we get into the grains, you kind of want to be cautious of the organic versus non-organic. Or getting a quality sourced product is going to be ideal, just because of how we farm in America, Western society. We spray a lot of chemicals, and those chemicals are not good. Like I bet if we all peed in a cup and we got it tested for glyphosate, it would probably be in there. Glyphosate is not good. It's a neurotoxin. It kills everything. And if we put that in our body, what do you think it's going to do? It's going to kill things. It's not good long term. Now, every once in a while, I don't care. Do whatever you want. But consistently, we want to try to reach for the organic, if you can. Beef. Green, all right. Good.
It's green.
This is a good one. I actually bought some bacon this week, because it was buy one get one free, and I like having had bacon forever. So I was like, I gotta get some bacon, so I had bacon this week. But yeah, bacon's delicious. We all know this. And like, what about the bacon is bad?
The preservatives.
Okay, so we said preservatives, fat. So real bacon is pretty much just the pork belly, brined in salt. So like, you can make your own if you wanted. And it's usually just like pink curing salt. So there doesn't have to be all of the preservatives. Like if you're buying Jimmy Dean's or whatever your standard bacon from the store, it probably has a lot more ingredients than say like an organic high-end bacon, right? So again, quality conversation. There's going to be top shelf bacon, bottom shelf bacon, all right? So top shelf bacon, probably not bad. Might want to proceed with caution. Probably shouldn't eat bacon every day or even multiple times a week. But is it horrible for you? Probably not. Yeah.
So I was in our grocery store after our discussion last week, looking for meat, and they had with the pork chops, pork belly. And I said to myself, it looks a lot like bacon,
Mhm.
but I don't know what it is, so I didn't buy it.
Yeah.
Is it better in that form than under the title bacon?
Well, it's the same, like pork belly is like the cut of
same
the cow.
section of the.
Yeah.
But does it mean because it was on a tray and wrapped in the cellophane, does that mean it didn't have all the other stuff in it, or does it still have all the stuff in it?
Yeah, so it's not bacon, because the bacon is like the cured part. It's like brine and salt, goes through the whole thing. The pork belly is just kind of like the cut of the meat.
Okay.
And it has a little bit different taste
Yeah,
than bacon,
yeah,
because it's not cured.
right. Yeah, it's
It's not cured, not smoked.
right. I don't know, like what would be like the nutritional difference between the two. I mean, macros wise, they would probably contain the same amount of stuff, like protein, fat, and carbs. But yeah, like the ingredients list would probably be different. The pork belly would probably be like pork belly, and the bacon would have your list of things. But yeah, it would depend on what was on it. But I don't know if that would be like a good thing to get, because I don't know what you would really do with it. I mean, you can use it as bacon, like put it on your sandwiches and stuff like that. It definitely tastes different, so just keep that in mind. So yeah, bacon, we can throw that one up in the center somewhere. It could be good, it could be bad, somewhere in there. Pop-Tarts.
Red.
Yeah. Probably want to avoid those. That's butter?
Oh,
You're gonna put butter on it?
Delicious.
Oh my goodness. What are you doing?
You do that?
Especially the brown sugar cinnamon ones.
Oh, yeah.
Killing me up here. You're killing me. Pop-Tarts are like my go-to like processed food that I use as an example. I did love Pop-Tarts as a kid. Brown sugar cinnamon, those are the best. Anything else can just go away. So here we're going to start into more complicated things about food. So we're going to learn why food is good in all the things, or why it's such an important aspect of our lives, and why it can serve our bodies or not serve us. So we want to keep that in mind. So we have the macros and the micros. So big stuff, small stuff. Big stuff, that's going to be your protein, your carbs, and your fat. So when we say macros, that's what we're talking about. Protein, fats, carbs. Did you guys know that fats have more calories than everything else? Fats have 9 calories per gram. Protein has 4, carbs have 4. So fats are they have lots of energy in them. So that's kind of where your calories can get out of whack, as if you're eating a lot of fats or food that has a lot of fat in it, especially like the processed food, because that's where you get a lot of your calories. So if you're eating way too many calories, then fats could be why you're hitting that high number, because they have pretty much double the amount of calories and everything else. Okay, so what do I want to say here? The vitamins, there's your list. So if we think about our bodies as the periodic table, which is up there, that's essentially what we are. God made us out of dust, right? Which is essentially the periodic table. When we dig into the earth, like I work at a coal plant, they dig into the earth. They're miles back underground to find the coal. Those are all minerals and vitamins and nutrients that come from the ground. Everything comes from the earth. And that's kind of like what we are. We are essentially the periodic table in this form. which is really interesting, and I could go down quite the rabbit hole there, but we won't do that. There's a nice little picture over there, give you an idea of different vitamins that are associated with each food. We might get into that, I'm not quite sure, but just wanted to kind of throw that out there. Those are your micronutrients. Those are the things that are important that you get from your food. Without the micro, the macro doesn't really matter. If we don't have micro, we can't build the big stuff. Because we require small stuff first. Everything requires small stuff first. And then the big stuff comes. That's like everything in life. You gotta do the small, seemingly unimportant tasks every day before you get to the big reward or the end result. Same thing here. So this is how we can categorize and think about eating a wide variety of foods and getting all the vitamins and minerals that we need. If we eat the rainbow, Skittles, right? We don't want to eat the Skittles, but each color of the rainbow represents a phytonutrient, antioxidant, flavonoid, vitamin, and mineral. So those are all fancy words that you can look up, but they all kind of basically mean the same thing. For you guys anyways, that's really all you need to know. Like, if you see those words, just think of them as good. Those are good things. That's the power in the food. That's what those words are. And we're gonna get that, we're gonna go through the rainbow now. So Roy G. Biv, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. That's all the different types of colors that we can see, and all different types of foods. So we'll see where this goes. Looks pretty good, right? There's beads down there. Beautiful color, right? Nice and vibrant. So this is the red/purple group. So they clump those together because they have very similar benefits and very similar colors. They might look different on the outside, like a blueberry looks different than a beet, but if you juice them, they kind of have a similar juice color. So that's kind of why they're lumped together, but lots of words coming your way, and this might be too big for the screen. Okay, so lots of words. If you want to look these words up, you can, but we don't really need to learn this stuff. I just want to throw this. I want to go through the rainbow with you guys so that you can basically see and understand that certain colors of foods have specific benefits, and we want to eat a variety of those things so that we can get all the benefits. So red, that basically helps rid the body of free radicals. So what's a free radical? That's basically anything that's going through your body that could potentially cause harm. Inflammation, maybe a virus or something that isn't supposed to be there. Your body needs to get rid of it. We're constantly doing that. We're constantly cleaning, getting rid of free radicals in the body. Other good things that these colors are good for is it's called nitric oxide. So basically helps dilate the veins, which helps with blood flow. So that's going to be very heart protective. Good for your heart, good for your circulatory system. They make like pre-workout products. And if you have high cholesterol, they actually make like a beet powder to take. But they make a lot of pre-workout powders that are full of purples and reds because it helps to open up the veins, which when you're working out, you're getting blood flow to your muscles, helps with your oxygen intake and recovery and all that type of stuff. So keep that in mind when you think about red. Red equals blood, equals the heart, circulatory system. It's good for all that stuff, okay? Like I said, there's gonna be lots of words and stuff. You don't necessarily need to know everything. Orange. Vitamin A, that's going to be your big one with orange, which is great for your eyeballs. Your eyes are like, they require vitamin A. Vitamin A is like super important for your eyes and being able to see. I think it really helps with the rods. Like you have rods and cones in your eyes that basically helps you see at night versus in the day. And vitamin A is crucial to be able to see well. So we want that. We don't want to lose eyesight, but alpha carotene, fancy name, is good for protecting against cancer, which we also want to do. Good for immune system, reproductive system, but there's that, okay? There's your list. Obviously, you can kind of think of foods as you go through the store. Something to keep in mind too, just a little tidbit of information. We live in a location where we experience fall, or 4 seasons. So what colors do you see whenever fall is happening?
Orange, yellow.
Right. We see these colors are changing. And what's available during the fall? Pumpkins. So do you think eating orange colored foods in the fall would be a good idea? Yes, it would be.
I have a question. I heard it's better, you get more vitamins out of eating cooked carrots versus raw carrots. Is that true?
You're gonna get different types. There's different benefits to raw, like certain raw things versus cooked things. So it's like fat soluble nutrients versus water soluble. So like a raw carrot, I wouldn't be able to tell you off the top of my head what would be the difference, but it's gonna have certain water soluble nutrients in it. So they're readily available. You don't have to do there's no digesting or cooking out any of the nutrients. But let's say when you do cook the carrot, you're gonna lose that water soluble nutrient for the most part. It might be there a little bit, but you're gonna lose some of that. But if you cook it, especially with fat, that fat's gonna go into the carrot when you're cooking it, kind of pull out the nutrients, so you can get the nutrients that you wouldn't necessarily be able to get without cooking it. So you can do both, not necessarily one's better than the other, depends. That's a popular answer to basically any question, it depends. Which is why I don't like the nutrition topic. Okay, next. Orange/yellow. Yellow again, think about the fall. We see a lot of yellow things. Squash, butternut squash. Different, apples are available too, because they're kind of a fall food. They have like, mostly red up here. There's some Granny Smiths around, I think. Different chemical, beta, cryptothanzin, I don't know. Helps the body communicate. So basically what that means is if we were all cells somewhere in the body, this nutrient helps me play the telephone game. So if I tell this guy a secret, he's going to tell Helen and pass it on and pass it on. And our communication is going to be crisp and clean. Okay? Compared to if you didn't have it or you're stressed out that day or something, this helps communication, which communication is extremely, extremely important in the body. And that is a long topic we could go down, but just kind of think about that. Things are always communicating. Your brain controls everything. Brain, stomach, heart. There's so many things happening right now as we speak that we don't think about. We don't have to think about breathing. We don't have to think about digesting. We don't have to think about processing our blood. We don't have to think about moving my arms. They're just happening. Like, we don't have to think about all these things, but it's happening. That's the communication part. And if you don't communicate, if your body's not communicating well, it's probably going to be problems. And that's kind of like the cancer conversation. Yellow, green. Okay, big words there. Again, vision, another good one for vision. These ones are like greens, like leafy greens mostly, it appears. Or like a lighter green instead of a darker green, maybe. Yeah, does anybody have or know anybody with cataracts or macular degeneration? Yeah, okay. It's a popular thing in today's world, mostly because of our lighting environment. We're always staring at our phones or TV and all that type of stuff. That wasn't a problem before. Fairly new invention that we're dealing with is all of the blue light that we're staring at.
Would you say lettuce fall in that?
Yeah, probably. It depends what kind of lettuce though, because if like what kind of lettuce are you thinking?
I eat water.
Romaines fine. Yeah, it's a decent lettuce.
What's it got?
I would say like a spring mix, something like that. But like iceberg, I think everybody probably knows iceberg's like nothing. You're basically just eating water, a little bit of fiber and stuff. It costs the body more calories to eat the iceberg than it would be the
So I
iceberg.
could eat that to lose weight then.
Yeah, if you just want to jam iceberg down your face all day,
No, your water.
you'd probably eat like 7 heads a day.
It's one ingredient.
You would be missing a lot of other important things if all you ate was iceberg lettuce. That would basically be like you fasting, which is fine, but you know, more power to you if you want to go down that path. White/green. So this is like a lot of garlics, onions, leeks. Anybody ever have leeks?
Yeah.
Or wild leeks? Or what are those things? It's like, yeah, ramps, wild onions. Those are good. Anybody ever have those? Ramps?
Ramps.
Yeah, they are native to Pennsylvania. So these are good for, I want to touch on the prebiotics thing, but anti-tumor properties. I don't know if I want to go there. Prebiotics. So, what's a prebiotic? Can anybody think of what would you say? What's a prebiotic? What's a probiotic?
I don't know, you take one.
Helps with your gut health.
Yes, it helps with gut health. So, a probiotic is a microbe that you're introducing to your microbiome, your ecosystem. You're introducing this bug, we'll call it for lack of better terms, to your system to supposedly help and give you benefits. Which we talked about last time, probiotics. Probably not getting everything that you need, or the marketing ploy that they're saying, all the benefits that you're getting, probably not getting that. And it might be more detrimental to your gut microbiome than beneficial. But if you have questions specific about that, we can talk about that later. Prebiotics. So a prebiotic is a nutrient, a food that you would eat that your microbes have to digest. So it's feeding certain microbes so that those microbes can then proliferate and multiply. So prebiotic, you can think of it as like, you're feeding your microbes, like giving the scraps to the microbes, the beneficial ones, the ones that are good. So those are a good idea. So that's your onions, your garlics, I think I have the list. Yeah, all of those things.
Pears.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if I think pear, I think you just lump that with the color. Pear, or green and white. But the onions and stuff, those are kind of like a root vegetable. Consider those a root vegetable, because they grow under the earth. That's where you're going to get your probiotics benefits. Green. I always used to say eat something green every day. That's a good
So you
thing.
put lettuce every day, remember?
Yeah.
You told me not to eat, I heard lettuce, I promise with that.
And that's green.
There are other green things. believe it or not. Okay, what's the word I'm looking for? Cruciferous. That's broccoli. I think we made that. I think broccoli is man-made, something like that. Yeah, something like that. But green stuff is super great. It's anti-inflammatory. So inflammation is like the root cause of all disease. So if we can reduce inflammation, anytime you can reduce inflammation, that's good. We want to do that. We want to reduce inflammation. So that's basically what green stuff's good for. There's all your green stuff. I mean, this is not an exhaustive list. Okay, this is just some of the popular ones or things that you might eat. Because there's probably a longer list than just that.
So what about cucumbers or like bell peppers?
Yeah, that would be on there. That would be on
Because
there.
that's what I do eat,
Yeah,
actually.
yeah.
What were your green eggs?
Green eggs. Green eggs and ham. You can't just have green eggs. You have to have the ham too. Okay. So yeah, there's that. So that's basically all the colors. That's the rainbow. We went through the rainbow, and hopefully you saw that each color has a specific benefit, and there's a purpose to that. God designed that a certain way. Everything has purpose. Just like the colors and the seasons. When the season's changing, the colors that you're seeing, those are the things that are available to you. Like you have your yellow squash, that's during the fall. Pumpkins are orange, that's during the fall. Root vegetables, that's going to be your wintertime stuff, because they can sit in storage for a long time. You can pull them out of the ground like even later in the year. They last longer. That's how we get through the dark winter. We're eating all of the potatoes that we put in the ground. We stored them. Stuff like that. So just kind of like thinking about how did we get here? Like what did our ancestors do? Our grandparents probably remember going down to the basement, or at least I always hear stories from my family. We used to go to the basement and scoop sauerkraut off the top of the crock and then get it for dinner or whatever. And think about how great that is. The fermented food that we just had in the basement, that we could just go down and scoop it out. Nobody was worried that we're gonna die from germs. We're just like, I'm getting this fermented food. And we didn't even know like the benefits of it. And now we know that that's super beneficial. That was like great for the microbiome. That's why people were so healthy. Because we weren't so worried about all of these germs all the time. Okay, so I like this, food is you, as like a tagline or whatever. Food is you. We're going to get into why that is. So, everything that you eat becomes a part of you. That's how you were built. Remember the periodic table. You had to form that in the womb, right? What your mom ate, you ate. And that's how the sperm and the egg formed into the single cell, and then the next cell, and then it doubled and doubled, tripled, quadrupled. It's from the nutrients that the mom was eating. So the food formed you, it becomes a part of you. The amino acids, they're the building block of protein. Building block of a lot of things. Super beneficial too, there's a lot of amino acids. But like your muscles, they are made of protein, amino acids. A lot of things are protein. Like you hear the word protein a lot in like the science community. They say like everything's a protein. Because proteins are like really great for messaging things back and forth. That can get complicated. But yeah, we are built from the food that we eat. So I wanted to talk about this real quick because this is important for people that might not eat a lot of meat, or you might not be interested in eating meat. Because I talked to a vegan that was supposed to come, but not here. So this was for them specifically. If you pair, so there's different types of amino acids, like I said. There's essential ones and then non-essential ones. The non-essential ones we make, the body produces. We don't have to eat them. The essential ones, we have to eat them. We have to get them from food sources. If we don't get them, our body has a lot of problems, because amino acids are very important. So if you pair nuts or seeds with whole grains, you get a complete protein, which a complete protein basically means that it has everything in it it has all of the essential amino acids, essentially. So nuts and seeds with grains, so peanut butter on toast, that's a complete protein. Pasta and cashews, or legumes, or something like that. Whole grains with beans, so this is like your beans and rice, so black beans and rice, or any other bean and rice, hummus, pita bread, certain things like that. Refried beans and tortillas, Mexican food. Let's get a complete protein there. Beans with nuts or seeds. So this can be like salad with chickpeas on it, sunflower seeds. So just like different ways to try to get a complete protein together if you're not eating a lot of meat. Because protein's really good, we want to have enough protein. That's going to help satisfy our hunger. And the protein is really beneficial for the body, building muscle, repairing your bones. Anything that has to do with repairing is going to be your protein. Okay, so we talked about this last time. Carbohydrates fuel the body. So the body is resilient. It will choose other things as fuel. Like it will use protein as fuel. It will use fat as fuel. Carbs are number one. They're the easiest. But ideally, we want the body to be able to burn carbs and fat, to be able to switch between the two anytime. That's where we struggle as a society. As a society, a lot of people struggle to burn fat because we're eating way too many carbs. That's what we talked about last class. Way too many carbs, mostly the ultra-processed foods that are basically fake food, it's junk food. We're eating too much junk food. But the potatoes, those are fine. Things like that, we need those carbs. Fats, okay, they help to protect and insulate us. So fat's not bad. I was talking about this recently. I think that, in today's world, we get really caught up, especially in the fitness industry. Everybody wants to have the six-pack abs or the big muscles or whatever. Like everybody has like this thing that they want to achieve. And they think that that's healthy. Hulk Hogan just died, right? Just recently, he's 71, 2, something like that. And old Ric Flair, he's still out there kicking, and he's drinking, doing drugs, partying all night, and he's still 76. And like Hulk Hogan was like the pinnacle of like health, right? Prayers and say your prayers and vitamins, and he was like this big muscular guy. And people were like, well, see, it doesn't matter if you have muscles and you can be healthy, you can still die early. But, there's a lot of other things that he probably did that cut off his longevity. But muscles and all that stuff doesn't necessarily mean that you're healthy. That was the point there. Like just because somebody looks really good doesn't mean that they're healthy. So we want to try to get the vanity out of our minds when it comes to our health. We want to feel good. We want the body to function good. We don't necessarily have to be 3% body fat, 8% body fat. Like you can have fat on your body and be healthy. Like we don't have to. We don't have to have like this perfect cookie cutter thing. Like if I don't look like this, I'm not healthy, right? Now there's obviously excess that we need to know about, but there's a balance there. So fat, I want to talk about omega-3s. Omega-3s, very good. Anybody ever hear of omega-3s? Are they other different kinds? There's omega-3s, 6s, and 9s. That's basically just like the molecular structure of the fat cell. So omega-3s are going to be your best option. Omega-3s are in most of your nuts. Peanuts have a lot of omega-6s, so we eat enough peanuts. If you're going to pick a nut to eat, pick something else, like a walnut or a cashew or an almond. Those are gonna be pure. Those are gonna be better than a peanut. Because we probably all eat peanut butter. I love peanut butter. So I don't need to snack on peanuts and eat peanut butter. Because we already get too much omega-6 and 9s of our fatty acids. We want to get omega-3s. Those are the ones that are harder to get. But they're super, super beneficial. They are essential. Fats are essential to the body. We can't live without them. We need to have them. What's the thing? Like Parkinson's, dementia, MS, those types of things, they're all diseases of demyelination, which is essentially like a fatty sheath that lines the nervous system. And when this deteriorates, that's when the problems start to come up. And the scientists, they don't know why it's happening. I think we know. For the most part, obviously. There's a nuance there. But omega-3s, super good for that myelin, the myelination. Great for the nervous system. The electrical impulses. That's how we work. We are electrical beings. That's how everything functions. So if you imagine, if anybody's mechanical in here, 3 wires in an outlet. You got your black, your white, your green. It all has a rubber coating on the outside of the wire. Inside is usually copper in a house. So the rubber around the wire is the insulation. And it helps protect us so we don't get shocked, but also helps to carry the electricity through that wire to its end. That's essentially what the myelin is like a fatty insulation. It's got a sheath that helps the electricity travel through the body. So omegas, 3s, DHA, basically you can say it makes us more conductive, which is very important because we want our electrical system to be top notch. We don't want any short circuits. So I said this earlier, from the womb, we were grown from the food stuff that our mom ate. Literally the micronutrients that were flowing through her blood and then through the placenta into the uterus. That's how we grew. We grew from the food that was eaten. Okay, diets to follow. So here we go. How are we doing on time? Okay, need to speed it up. Don't want to be too boring. One more? Yeah, okay. Diets to follow. So it's confusing. We talked about this. What's a good diet to follow? The answer's up there. One that you'll stick with. Okay? It could be any of the ones down there. Keto, carnivore, vegan, vegetarian, paleo, dairy-free, gluten-free, low-carb, high-carb. List could go on, right? Pick one and stick with it. Stay consistent for a long period of time. They all work, okay? But are some of them better than others? Yes. So you gotta pick one that you can stick with. I like to say you gotta create a lifestyle. Create a new healthy lifestyle, which if you eat whole foods as your diet, that's your lifestyle. I eat whole foods. That's your diet. What's your diet? I eat whole foods. I don't know. That's what I do. I'm not keto, carnivore, vegan, vegetarian, paleo. I just eat whole foods. I eat whatever comes from the earth. Just an easy way to break through all of the crap out there in the world that people are telling us.
I beg to differ on your diet.
What's that?
I have a gluten-free diet.
Yeah.
And I gain 7 pounds every month.
From being gluten-free?
Yep.
Why?
Nobody knows.
What are you eating?
Everything I'm supposed to eat. For breakfast, I have 2 cups of fruit.
So are you gluten intolerant?
Oh,
So when you eat gluten, everything's just going out the back door. But when you don't eat gluten, you're holding on to everything.
If you don't eat gluten, he passes out. We went through this almost a whole year. He has to be, if you don't eat gluten, he passes out.
doesn't?
Yeah, it's, oh yeah, we went through a whole year of this after church,
I have a strict diet.
yeah.
Okay,
and I
we'll
still-
talk more later. This is the government. Government recommends this. This is just a reference. I'm not saying you need to do this. This is how you should make a plate, but something to reference. You can go to that website. They have recommendations of how to eat, how to set up a plate. But I think that's like a daily allowance, I think, is what they're going with there. And it goes into more detail, like how many servings of each category. But that's kind of like the food pyramid, or like the healthy food pyramid is choose my plate. They just kind of like switched it around a little bit. So here's some different pictures of food, mostly that my wife made, because I just went through her laptop and picked food out. She used to be a food blogger, so she has lots of pictures, and I just threw stuff in here. Just to give you guys a visual of like, what's a plate of food look like when it comes to eating whole foods. It usually looks like a lot of food, so I want to throw that out there. There's more volume that you're eating, but I said this last class, whole foods are nutrient dense and they don't have a lot of calories. But the junk food, they are nutrient deficient, but very dense in the calories. Very dense in the calories. So you could eat Pop-Tart glass of milk and get 400 to 500 calories, or you can have this.
If you add a butter to it, might be upset too.
Yeah. That's like a large plate or a bowl. Here's a salad from somewhere. I don't know where. Lots of goodies on there. Some beets, nuts, cheese, spinach, watermelon radish. Look how cool those look. I love those. Anybody ever have watermelon radish? Oh, they're amazing.
What is that?
They're so cool. Yeah, they're beautiful. It's just like another root vegetable, so you could bake it. I like to make a medley, so that I used to be like the cook, so this comes easier to me. But the beets, radishes, different root vegetables, there's different types of beets. So I usually get like a golden beet, a red beet. I'll get like a black turnip, radish, or black radish, whichever one. I'll cut them up into little cubes and roast them in the oven for a while until they're all soft. And just like a root vegetable medley, delicious. Anyways, so that's how many calories, does anybody know? What, big guess? Big guess.
400.
Salads are usually lower, maybe depending on the fat or the dressing that you use. Without any dressing,
250.
somewhere in there. When you add the dressings and like the extra cheese and your meat, and there's no meat on this cheese because you're vegan, by the way. But yeah, that's going to be a little bit lower than if you had meat and dressing. Here's some more stuff: 3 eggs, Brussels sprouts, and potatoes. Well-balanced meal. So you got a vegetable, something green. You got your starchy carb, which is your potato, and 3 eggs. Here's some more stuff. Beets, rice, is that cauliflower? Maybe tofu. Tofu, yeah, that's tofu. Some greens. But like that's, like we had that for dinner one night. Which, we just wanted to make something colorful or something random. Like, being creative is fun, especially in the kitchen. It's like, don't stick to chicken, rice, and broccoli. Right, that's like the stigma if you're trying to eat healthy. Just chicken and rice, chicken and rice. Like, you don't have to just eat chicken and rice, you can eat a lot of different stuff. Variety is the spice of life. And eating the rainbow, very important. Lots of colors here, right? That's right. Lots of benefits in there. Okay, so here's your food lists. Food list. Protein. Obviously, animals. So any animal, you can eat it. Seafood is a big one. I don't eat a lot of seafood because it's usually expensive. I don't know. Expensive. I eat salmon. Salmon's like the only seafood that I eat. Yeah. Yeah, we live in the middle of western Pennsylvania, you know. What else? Yeah, so salmon has the DHA fatty acids in it. That's why salmon's like in the health space, good. When you eat a lot of salmon. Salmon's great. Yeah, all of those things. Lean meats, if you want to watch your fat content, eating lean meats, like a 93.7 beef at the store compared to your 80-20. Get your calories down if you want to do that, that's totally fine. Eggs, like I said before, we don't really need to be scared of eggs. Dairy, that is an animal product, so you're going to have all of your good macros in there. Plants, again, I wanted to touch on the ancient grains. Have you ever heard that term? Okay. So that's, we can think of that as like what Jesus and all the biblical people ate, is ancient grains.
I don't like the quinoa.
Quinoa stuff. Quinoa stuff. I used to eat a lot of it, and then for some reason my body was like, hey, we're not going to digest this anymore, so find something else. Tears me up. I don't know what happens, but it's not good. Those things are good. They have a lot of protein in them too. So a lot of those types of ancient grains, those are good. We can eat a lot of that stuff. We don't got to worry about that. Any questions there? Okay.
When you say dairy,
Yeah.
what kind of dairy? Like cow's milk?
Yeah. Anything. Cows, goats. Is that it? What?
Yeah,
Cows
that's
and
not
goats.
dairy, yeah.
Yeah, cows and goats. It's all good. Moderate. I mean, you don't want to just eat cheese all the time, but you know, if you can tolerate lactose, you got no issues there. Go for it. But if lactose is throwing you off, you probably should watch. Carbs. So there's your list of carbs. All good stuff. Fruits and vegetables, they fall into the carb category. Fruits, they're basically all carbs. Doesn't mean they're bad. Fruits are awesome. You can eat as much fruit as you want. You can eat as much vegetables as you want. The grains, that's, you're gonna have a lot more. They're denser in the carbs. So
What
if you
about
eat
mushrooms?
mushrooms are awesome. That would be a yeah.
Oh, I know, but I'm just thinking.
I would throw it in the vegetable category. Yeah. I love mushrooms. They're great. A lot of benefits to mushrooms. Lots of different kinds too. What else? Anything we need to say anything about that? Carbs. No. Okay. Here's an example of carbs. Lots of beautiful, colorful foods. Mostly all carbs. Fruits, vegetables, grains. Good stuff. Fats. Here's the one where people go wrong usually. Does all of that stuff on the shelf look good? All those oils? No, they're not. Usually, I do want to go on a bit of a tangent here because this is important. The oils that we get at the store, a lot of them are basically rancid. That the way that they process them, they have to add things in so that they don't smell bad and that they don't taste bad, so that they maintain their flavor, right? What's the parentheses thing? It says for freshness or something, like some chemical, and then parentheses for freshness or whatever. And I think some of them, I'm not saying all of them, but there is one at least that uses like some type of perfume or like weird thing just so that it can taste fine. Your best oils are going to be an organic olive oil. These things, we want to spend the money on these because these things usually aren't super cheap, but we want to invest in a quality oil. Canola oil, throw it out. Dump it down in the drain, get rid of it. We don't need it. Use it for your cutting board, and that's it. We don't want to eat canola oil. We don't want to eat the rapeseed oils, your traditional stuff. We really want to avoid that, especially if you're cooking a home cooked meal. You're putting it in a pan to saute, or you're putting it on things. Like, we want to use quality oils at home. When you go out to eat, whatever, or we're having a meal here, don't worry about it, don't be scared of it. But like, when you can control it, ideally, get something that is organic, quality product, make a bit of an investment. Avocado oil has a high smoke point. That's going to be good. So when you're cooking with it, it doesn't go rancid and lose a lot of its benefits. Because that's like the negative side of things with the canola oils and stuff. They usually have a lower smoke point, so when you're cooking with it, you can literally see the smoke going. It's burning. It's burning. And that's not good. Anybody ever hear ghee? Ghee? So that's clarified butter. So they remove the dairy from the butter. Super good for you. Little expensive, not a little, a lot expensive. Is it too expensive for the benefits? I would say so, but if it's on sale, I'm gonna buy it. Coconut oil. If you're gonna get coconut oil, we want unrefined. That's gonna be your better option. Refined, I wouldn't use to eat, personally. I mean, you probably could, but it's just not as good. What else? Nuts and seeds, like I said earlier about the peanuts and other ones. Pursue other ones. Walnuts, almonds, cashews, those are gonna be good. Don't eat a whole ton of them. Don't eat a whole bag. Some of my relatives, they get almonds for every birthday or special occasion. They get like a 5-pound bag of almonds. Because that's all they eat. Oh, not good, but you know, whatever. Keep doing your thing. So let's build some plates. So what does a plate look like? Just kind of giving us visuals of, you know, at home when we're making food. How do I pick? My wife's real big on recipes. She's like, you need to give people examples. I'm like, I don't know. I'm not much of a coach. I'm more of a teacher. Like, I'm not necessarily going to tell you what to do. I'm going to teach you what you can do, and then you have to pick. But if you're coming to me being like, what should I do? You say, we can do this, you can do that, or you can do this, you can do that. So sometimes that gets confusing. But I'm expecting that people can take information and empower themselves and do what you want with it. So this is an average plate. We got some chicken, Brussels sprouts, sweet potatoes. That's a solid meal. Solid meal. You got your protein, you got your green vegetable, and really healthy carbohydrate. What?
I'll eat that.
Yeah, why not?
Yep.
Build a plate. Here we go. So, one fruit or vegetable per meal. It's a good way to think about something, right? Anytime you're eating a meal, where's my vegetable? Why am I not eating a vegetable? Why am I just eating buttered noodles with beef or spaghetti? You know, like, where's my vegetable? Where's my fruit? It's pretty easy to eat a fruit. Like, you don't have to cook fruit. You just eat it. There's no reason why you can't eat fruit for dinner or with your dinner. It might be weird to you, but you know, you can do whatever you want. Yeah, so there's that. And then pick a starch. So we want like a fist-sized portion or a hand-sized portion. We're just trying to give you a visual of like, okay, that's that big. So my whole plate shouldn't be pasta, but half. Pick a meat, 4 ounces, about a deck of cards. So if you can visualize a deck of cards, and then you go stack. That's about 4 ounces, which is going to get anywhere from 25 to 30 grams of protein, which is the number that you should try to shoot for per meal. 20 to 30, or more if you can handle more. Some people eat like up to 50 grams. Okay, so that's kind of like the plate that we want to think about. That's how you pick. That's how you select. What am I making for dinner? What's my meat? Okay, I'm going to cook my meat. This is how I'm going to cook my meat. Then what else? What's my starch? Am I going to have a potato? Am I going to make rice? Am I going to do sweet potatoes? Am I making pasta? What am I doing? Then what's my vegetable? What pairs well with those things, you know? It's not complicated, it's super easy. I know some people are really like jaded when it comes to cooking, but if we cook, we're probably gonna be healthier than versus not cooking. If you can't cook, you're gonna have problems. So I wanted to touch on this. This is something where I'm like, okay, I gotta add this, I gotta take this out, what am I doing? Dirty dozen versus the clean 15. Very important. You probably can't see that very well, but make sure you Google this when you go home, or at least remember it to keep it in your back pocket at all times when you're at the grocery store. The dirty dozen is essentially the foods, a list of foods that are the most contaminated when it comes to pesticides. Okay? And those, if they're on the dirty dozen, highly recommend reaching for organic.
There's the bell peppers.
Yep. Spinach is a big one. People are like, oh, spinach is good for you. It's literally one of the dirtiest foods. Strawberries, one of the dirtiest foods. They're like, I think it's like spinach, I think it's strawberries, spinach, blueberry, like all the berries, they're on there. Now, is it gonna kill you? Probably not. Don't let me instill fear into you about these things. But just keep it in mind, if you can, if you want to spend a little bit extra money, or at least buy it when it's on sale or something, definitely you ought to keep this in mind. The dirty dozen, keep that in mind.
Can't you wash them with vinegar? Doesn't that help it or no?
Yeah, I mean, you still want to wash most of your stuff.
Right, but doesn't that help washing?
Definitely. But it's kind of like, so it's in the soil, and then like the periodic table, the spinach plant pulls the nutrients from the soil. So it's literally like, it is what it is. It's like in there. So it's hard to get that out. You can definitely get the stuff that's on the exterior off, which is a good idea. Always wash your produce when you get home. You don't know who's touching stuff at the store, first off. Or how many places it goes by the time it gets there. That's a little weird. That might be a little.
No, you should, because you can see when you cut. I did food safety.
Okay.
And if you don't cut like wash your watermelons and cantaloupes, when you pull your knife down through it, you're pulling contaminants.
Gotcha. Gotcha. See, that's one of those micro things that you can really get into where you can just not worry about it. There's your clean 15, that's obviously the cleanest ones. I think those ones are also organic. But the ones that you probably don't have to worry too much about being organic, there's that category. Like, if I'm at the store and I'm buying avocados, I'm not paying the extra $2 for an organic avocado. I'm gonna get the regular one because it's cleaner.
What about frozen vegetables? Are they good for you?
Oh yeah, those are fine. Yep. They basically have the same nutrient density content than a regular one. They hold their value pretty well. Quality matters. That was kind of like the whole conversation of the day, right? When it comes to food, quality matters. Is it like the end all be all? Probably not. Nothing really is when it comes to nutrition. But it does matter. Quality matters. And I have, if we're interested, my wife was like, no one cares about that. I have like a mathematical equation, if you guys want to do like how to figure out your BMR, your basal metabolic rate, for your metabolism. We can do that if you guys want to.
Oh, no.
Okay, so I'll tell her to prove her wrong, right?
She was wrong.
That's right. Okay, so get your calculators out. Now, I'm not the best at math, so don't necessarily listen to me, but,
But you're the teacher.
yeah, not a math teacher though. So down at the bottom I have asterisks to help you figure out conversions. So you can use that. However much you weigh, just,
So multiply your weight on 2.2?
yeah, or divide it. Divide by 2.2. Well, if you're 100 pounds, divide by 2.2, that gets you kilograms. I think, right? Show me the number. Yeah. So you're gonna have to remember, remember this.
How many calories you burn just getting alive?
Yes, BMR, yep, yep. If nobody knows what BMR is, that's the amount of calories it takes just to lay on the couch and breathe all day. So just existing, we burn a lot of calories. That's how we burn the most amount of calories, is by doing nothing. When you add in exercise and physical activity throughout the day, your calorie expenditure is going to go higher, which means you can eat more food, which means you might lose more weight, all of those things. But a lot of times, women specifically, they get told, you need to eat 1,400 calories a day to lose weight. Now, maybe that might be true for some people, but a lot of women do that and then they're kind of wrecking their metabolism. Because like 1,400 calories is barely enough to hit that BMR. Especially if you're an active person, you're doing stuff a lot. Now age and everything plays a factor, obviously that's in the equation. But a lot of times, people aren't eating enough food. It gets back to that quality conversation. They're eating the junk, which is very high in calories. Like, I don't even eat that much. Okay, well, you're drinking soft drinks, Pop-Tarts, Gatorades. Yeah, you might not be eating a lot, but those are super dense in calories. Now, if you switch that, and you go from eating a whole foods diet, now you're gonna be like, I can't eat enough food. Because you literally can't. Like, the volume that you have to put into your stomach is more than what you could probably take for a while. Like, you kind of would have to build that up. Like, I remember, I used to help with a wrestling program, and one of the guys was like, I need to lose weight or whatever, make me a meal plan. So I made him a meal plan. And they're like, I can't eat that much. I'm like, well, that's what you're supposed to eat. Like, was not hitting that amount of food a day, like not even close. But there's a lot of nuance there, but generally speaking, that's kind of where we're at with that. Did anybody get a number? Anybody figure out the math?
I even after I just figured it out for me because I can't do it.
Yeah, you could literally just Google macro calculator. It's there, you just plug it in and hit
That's
enter.
too much math.
Yeah.
That's why I have a
But
calculator.
usually men obviously have a higher number than women. We got more muscle, we got lots more testosterone, we burn more calories. We got it easy, the men. Women, you guys have a harder time. Sorry about your luck, but you ate the fruit first, so. But yeah, just keep that in mind. I just wanted to throw that out there because I think it's important to know. Like, what is your baseline that you need to survive? Because you need to give your body that energy. If you're not giving your body that energy, it's going to adapt, it's going to change, and it might not be for the best. So what else we got? Any questions? We got a few minutes, or however long you guys want to go, I don't care.
Isn't a potato a complex carbohydrate?
Yes. Yep, that's a good.
They're better for you. Complex carbohydrates better for you than just like like pasta.
Yeah, your complex carbs, that's going to have more macros in it. So it's going to have more fiber, more digestibility than a simple carb. Simple carb, you can think of like fruit. Fruit's quick. It's got lots of simple sugars in it.
Okay.
Yeah. Starch, more starchy, so it takes longer to digest.
When drinking milk, is it better to do skim 1%, 2% whole?
For what?
Just to drink milk.
What do you like?
I like whole milk.
Then drink whole milk. there's no, benefit if you're trying, like, yeah, what do you like? Whole milk's good for you. I prefer whole milk. It's less, it's not as processed, I guess. It's got better macros. Fats are good for you. Healthy fats.
They make you feel guilty about drinking whole milk.
Yeah, because there was this big movement of you remember like the low fat diet movement? Like everything on the front of the package was like, this is low fat.
Yeah, but isn't whole milk only 4% fat anyhow?
I don't know what the number is, but I know like,
I think it's
what I was
4%.
always taught, 4%.
okay. Yeah, the calories, I'm picturing the nutrition label on the thing, which the macros per serving is what, like 5, 6 grams? Something like that of fat. I think it's in like 8 ounces of milk. So fats are good for you, especially animal fats. Again, it gets back to that myelin conversation with the electricity. We want to have good insulation. So I don't remember why the low fat diet was such a thing. I forget how that marketing
I do.
thing.
Infomercials on TV all the time.
Well, it has
Oh yeah, the